If you need a full reading comprehension set fast, this video shows how to generate the passage and the questions for free using an AI tool. I'll show how to create a passage questions from a topic or a YouTube video or a website or a file, and then I'll show how to export everything for your class. For this, I'm using Monsha. It's one of the easiest AI tools for teachers for lesson planning and creating teaching resources. To get started, you just have to go to monsha.ai and open the tool called Reading Comprehension Questions. From here, you can just type in your requirement, or you can just click this little button here to show all the prompts you have used previously. For example, I click this one. So I need a mixed questions for a quick class test tomorrow on Animal Farm, focusing on chapter 1 and 4 only, and then some other requirements. And then I can set how many questions I want, let's say 30 questions, and I want, let's say, essential questions, MCQ, fill in the blanks, true, false, short answer, or some other types of questions. And I also want the passage to be included. And then I just select my grade and I'm ready to click generate, and it will generate the resource for me. But I do have some more flexibilities. For example, I can upload any video or any file from my device or from my Google Drive. I can also reuse some of the files I have used before. I have this option to submit any URL from any website, and also I can just copy and paste any text or blocks from here. I can even use any of the resources that I have created before using Monsha to use as a reference for this passage. For example, I have this video right here, so on Animal Farm, and paste it here and click save, and it will create the passage and the questions based on the context of the video and using the requirements that I have provided. And then I have more options here. I can attach this passage to any course or units or lessons, because Monsha also helps you create larger plans and curriculums. And I can also assign any standards. For example, I have these IB curriculums and other curriculums from the US and UK that I can just select from, or I can just submit my own curriculum if it isn't listed in the Monsha directory. And then I can also adapt this to any framework like doc level, reading level, and Bloom's taxonomy level. For example, I need to assign apply and analyze levels for these questions, and then click save. And if I click generate, it will take some time to create the resources for me. For example, this is how it looks like. It has this passage and then some essential questions, some multiple choice questions, and then the fill in the blank question and true false question and short answer question and open-ended prompts. And down here you can see the show answer keys. So if you click it, you will see all the answer keys here. You can close and hide it, and then if you go on top, you can edit the resource using this editor. And then of course you can export your questions to your preferred format or platform. For example, you can export to Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Classroom, or download as a doc or PDF, or export to your quiz taking platforms like Kahoot or Quizzes, or LMS like Canvas and Schoology. For example, if I click on this Google Forms, it will take a moment and it will give me a Google Forms like this. So it has this title and this reading passage and all the questions. And if you click on a question, for example, this MCQ question, you can see all the answer key is already assigned. For example, this is the answer, this is the right answer for this question. Now, if you come back to the resource, you can do some more stuff here. For example, if you click on more, you can copy the whole passage and questions. You can create more resources based on this passage or question. For example, you might be creating a worksheet or a presentation based on this. And then you can differentiate it, of course. You can change the language, translate it. You can adjust grade level, doc level, and another Bloom's taxonomy. For example, if you now select remember and click on adapt, it will create a new version of the whole output or whole response right down below. Now, if you look at below, you can see you have option to chat with this resource. For example, you can type in your feedback, or maybe you want to create additional resource or additional content. You can just type in here. For example, now can you give me 3 exam style questions? So if you just click enter, it has created some 3 questions as per my requirements. And if you're not feeling like typing, you can just click on these quick actions, and you have these options. For example, you can adjust the passage length, difficulty level, or add visuals. For example, if you want to reduce the number of question types or questions, you can just click and it will create or draft the prompt for you that you can then modify and then hit enter to create a revised version of the passage questions. Here you go. Now, if you go near the top, you have some more options. For example, if you click on this share button, it will copy a link for you that you can share with your students and teachers so that they can see this resource without having to log in. You can also see the prompt here, the original setup that you used to create the resource. that you can change and modify and then regenerate the resource. You can also create more resources based on it. Like I said, for example, you could create a lesson plan or worksheet or presentation or a handout based on the reading passage you just created. So that's handy. Now, another cool thing about Monsha is, like, apart from creating those learning materials, you can also create your entire course or course outline. Just typing your title, subject, number of units and lessons you want, and then hit generate, and it will create the whole course outline for you with all the units and lessons. You can then plan individual units or lessons and then drop all your resources or context in the course or units that you can reuse later for creating new types of learning materials. You can also align standards for the whole course or units, and also you can approach your daily lessons and plan every part of it, like opening activities, hooks, instructions, guided practice, materials, and then create all the resources to execute each part of your lesson plan. So Monsha this way helps you plan your next class and also plan your entire week or semester. So that's about it. I hope it was helpful, and if you have any questions, just ask it in the comments, and I would love for you to try the tool at app.monsha.ai. See you later.